Hi, I'm James McGuire, and on today's eSpeaks, we're talking about the one topic that everyone is talking about all the time now, which is generative artificial intelligence. We'll take a look at the implications for the rapid rise in Gen AI and how it works with automation, which is a key piece of the puzzle. To discuss that, I'm joined by Carter Busse, CIO of Workato. Carter, thanks for joining us today and happy Friday to you.
Yeah, thank you, James. Happy to be here. Thanks for asking us. And yeah, let's have this discussion. This is a top topic that is at every dinner table I'm at and every Zoom webinar. It's an exciting topic.
Isn't it amazing? Because I know I've seen various technological innovations, and they get big. Like Kubernetes was big when it burst upon the scene, but of course, no one in the real world was talking about Kubernetes. The whole enterprise IT world was consumed with Kubernetes. Whereas generative AI it's across business and it's across consumer. So what do you see? Obviously, it's an explosion of interest, as you noted. Your thoughts on its rapid rise?
Yeah, we've been experimenting with AI for about a year and a half now internally, using AI chatbots within our Slack to help improve our employee experience.
Mm-hmm.
But not until like late last year in ChatGPT, it consumerized the technology. And
Right.
so now you see consumers and kids, and my 12-year-old son using these generative AI models in conversations. It's completely changed the conversation and taken like a Kubernetes. And you can imagine us talking about Kubernetes at the dinner table.
I think
Wouldn't
we get a
work.
lot of very
But
glazed eyes if we brought this up like a Kubernetes at the dinner table.
exactly. No, but this is my wife, my parents are 80 years old. They're talking about it. So
Wow.
it's exciting. And they're like, how are you, what is AI, Carter? So no, what ChatGPT and OpenAI did to democratize this, not to, and give it to everybody. So it's fun and exciting.
Yeah, I mean, interesting. Like, so just curious, your 12-year-old son is using ChatGPT. Can I ask what he's doing with it?
He's using within Snapchat. He's not using ChatGPT yet. He's experimented, but he's having conversations in Snapchat with the AI in Snapchat.
Interesting.
Just asking it questions and like trying to tease it and trying to get negative reactions out of it, but it's trained really well not to.
Right.
Like he tries to make fun of Elon Musk, and it doesn't really want to go there, or anybody. He does ask about news and things, but
Yeah.
he's talking to bots.
The thing about that, and of course, your son and everyone else's son and daughter and relatives are doing the same thing. And the thing maybe we don't think about as much is that the bots are actually getting smarter as we keep talking to them. So they'll have better
Exactly.
answers about Elon Musk and about anything else we want to tease them about 12 months from now than they will now. I mean, I'm not sure
Yeah.
what my question is, but I think it's the whole idea that generative AI and AI in general are models that get trained, and we're actually training the models, so they're going to get much, much better.
It is going to get much better, but also I've had this discussion too, and it's bots talking to bots. Think about, you
Yeah,
have like a bot like ChatGPT, but you actually have another bot that's more trying to act like a human and trying to do some quality checks.
right.
So the kid, think of like a QA bot trying to talk to the other bot, trying to keep it in check, right? So that's maybe where regulatory needs to go, is to create some kind of, I don't know, regulatory bot, or I don't know, human intelligent bot. It's fascinating where it's
It
going.
really it is. I think about that. A bot discussing with a bot. That's there's a lot going on there. It's almost a philosophical
There is.
question at some point.
It really is. But maybe that's how we keep like the chat GPTs in check. Is someone
Well,
has
right.
another bot keeping it in check somehow, or doing some quality checks or fact checks at it.
What
So it doesn't hallucinate.
well, and it may continue to hallucinate for some time. I mean, the way it's been hallucinating so far. Um, what about generative AI and automation? That seems like that's an explosive area that's ripe for innovation, ripe for change. How do the two work together as you see it?
Oh wow, this is something we're already doing actually. We were doing a year ago with AI, and asking this. I put the analogy back to and especially in where we are in IT. Uh, you know, 15, 20 years ago, to create a ticket. IT, go to create a ticket. And then you
Right.
had to choose like 15, 16 categories and categorize your ticket for IT. And then IT kind of gets it done about 6 weeks later, right?
Right.
And
Right. I
then,
know.
and then,
Yes.
and before the pandemic, what a lot of IT folks did is they put up a Genius Bar inside the physical office to mimic what Apple was doing.
Hmm.
And myself and all my peers did that. So it was a walk-up bar. Hey, I have a broken PC or I need an app, right? And you have that human interaction. We got your ticket done or your case on right away.
Right.
That's where I feel like we're what AI is, just especially for IT teams, is I'm really working hard internally, is to bring that genius bar back into our Slack or MS Team bots. And you ask it a question instead of filling out this 16 form fields to create a ticket for IT and go to some portal to create a ticket, you actually have a conversation with a bot. It troubleshoots it, and then you automate the fix. So for example, this is how we're using AI, intelligent AI, not within our chatbots. Just, I have a broken laptop. The AI asks some questions. Are you Carter? Are you still living at this address? Great. We're going to ship you out a new laptop tomorrow.
Oh.
And please put it back in the box. And then we have that all automated with APIs, with Workato and the APIs and our third-party vendor. And that laptop is shipped to that employee within 24 hours. So
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and with no human involvement. So that's what excites me, to have that conversation, automate, and no human involvement.
So it's of course using natural language processing on the front end to accept the employee's voice.
Right. Voice, or this is text right now, but imagine that. Imagine having an Alexa type conversation. You can do that. Alexa type conversation with a chatbot to get you a new laptop.
Right.
We are getting there.
It's text at the moment, but I would imagine at some point voice will come along.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can talk into Slack. So to take that too.
For sure. Why? And any other ways that generative AI and automation might work together? I mean, it's a lot. It's a huge field. But any other ideas on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and we're kind of experimenting with this too internally. Is, we have, as a business or B2B software company, we have QBRs, check-ins with our customers, right? And to build those decks for the customer takes a lot of time, right? And it takes what you're paying, the billing information, ticket information. We put in this deck for the QBR deck. We put in usage information. We produce the deck, and it takes hours for each person to do that. Now imagine if you fed all that data to a private, a private chat GPT type tool, LLM, and actually creates that QBR deck for you with automation. And we're starting to do that actually. You actually take the data, ChatGPT helps you build that deck, that PowerPoint deck or Google slide deck, and it creates that deck for you within seconds. So that we're already experimenting with that. That's where I see a lot of this AI plus automation. AI gives you feed AI the data. It helps create a conversation or produces content that then you can automate sending a PowerPoint slide or fixing a laptop. It's very exciting, and it's just new ideas come up every day long. Yeah, all day long.
I think it's interesting, the idea of saving, all that time, because the hours we've spent with PowerPoints, especially the sales folks, and they've got to churn all that in. To be able to like save that and have that crank that out is enormous time savings. Interesting. Well, let's drill down into Workato, and how is Workato addressing the automation and AI needs of its clients? What's their offering there?
Yeah, so we offer an integration automation product. And I know you spoke with our friends at Boom the other day. We do the same model, but we have a no code platform where we help customers automate the business process with APIs, and that's where we feel like true automation is. Automation. Everyone has this very disparate tech stack. Most people are moving into cloud. And most of these applications they have are all API driven. We are that glue that makes those end-to-end business processes run across many different systems with integration. And so that's and we do it. And we also do it with a very low code, no code platform that allows businesses and business technology groups and IT groups to give this automation tool to the business with guardrails, with governance, and with some discipline. So that's where we are. So we have this low code, no code tool actually, where we have a lot of our customers have non-technical degree, non-engineering degree users using our tool. So where are we going with this? So yes, business technologists in the company are actually using it in the business, but imagine it even being simpler to say, like, for the CFO to be able to say, hey, I need to connect SAP to Salesforce. Imagine having someone at an executive level speak or talk or type to Workato and actually builds that workflow. We call them recipes. We have a cute word called recipes.
Okay.
You build them inside Workato. But imagine like a CFO or a VP actually talking or saying to Workato, I need to build integration between applications, and actually builds the integration for you. About 80% of it.
Wow.
Right? That's where we're going. And that's what's super exciting. And we kind of call that also with kind of we also we're working with developing a Copilot too. Copilot's been developed by Microsoft inside of GitHub, but actually a Copilot to help build the code. We have connectors to all these different applications. But imagine having a Copilot help you develop custom connectors to your custom applications. So that's also some places we're going.
It's the scenario you talked about where the executive can talk to the system and integrate SAP with another application or stack. Is that still a dash in the future, correct? Or is that happening?
No, that is happening. That is happening because where we're building right now, and we're starting to beta test this, is we have thousands of customers. They integrate SAP to Salesforce all the time. Imagine having that knowledge of how they connect those two systems and have an executive talk to Workato. We know across our thousands of customers how people are integrating these systems. It's usually very similar.
Uh-huh.
It's very, very similar. So no, it's very close to do that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Yeah. That is an enormous time saving, and also it creates a world where business becomes so agile because we can turn on a dime, and the idea of integrating large systems like that with some spoken conversation, where it might have taken weeks, if not longer, and might not have even worked. It means that we can change market direction so fast if we're thinking. I guess it almost puts the emphasis back on the human brain, because we've got to still make these decisions. Do we want to integrate X with Y?
Right.
I guess I don't know what my question is. I just think it creates a world in the future where things can move directions, can change directions so fast.
Yeah, you're right. And it goes back to two words that I've used for years: is tech debt. Tech debt is caused with custom code that's built by engineers in the back office, right? And then when the business wants to pivot quickly, we have tech debt because we have to go back and fix the hard code. But imagine with these low-code tools, with AI, with a conversation, we can quickly pivot the business and not have to worry about tech debt anymore. And I think that's what's super exciting about where we're going with Workato and AI.
And the key piece there that I don't think gets quite as much headlines these days is the low code, no code platform, and that it was maybe 2022. It felt like it was the year of the low code, no code. It really came out strong that year, and it's obviously only getting bigger. But I mean, it does, and you referenced this a little bit. It does create the idea of the democratization of technology, where there's a mid-level manager who can make some changes. He or she is not a software developer, but suddenly they can really interface with the application. That moves business far faster as well.
It does. I know, James, I hear low code, no code, and you said 2022.
Right.
I was employee number 70 at Salesforce.
Oh.
Back in 2000. That's
amazing.
Low code, no code. That's low code, no code. Back in 2000, we had
was that. And you're saying Salesforce in the year 2000 was low code, no code? Explain that to me, please.
Yeah, because remember Mark Benioff? His whole thing was getting around IT, right?
Right.
And he wanted to sell around IT and sell it directly to the sales teams. And to do that, he made a low code, no code CRM application that was easily configurable by the business.
Right. Okay.
So
it's
been around for quite a while. In fact, I was the guy he tapped on the shoulder my first year and said, Carter, we have got to collect credit cards because I have got to go around IT. So how do we get right to the sales leaders with Salesforce so they can buy and implement it? So no, it's low code, no code's been around for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's really part of, I don't know if it goes hand in hand with shadow IT. It's all those division heads or semi-division co-heads, and they want to start a little side project with the company credit card. That's business related, but they don't need to be developers to do it. So, I mean, shadow IT sometimes gets a bad name, but it's a contributor to the rise and development of information technology at any rate.
Yeah, it is. And I think that the modern CIO has to grapple with that and has to deal with it and has to actually almost let it happen, because we can't move at the pace of business. We really can't. And tools like Workato with low code, no code, you can actually have the business adopt a product, but then they're going to ask you someday, hey, we bought this thing in marketing. Can you hook it up to Salesforce? Yeah, we can. We have this great tool called Workato with low code, no code. And imagine, you know what? You can actually just go speak to it. Let's tie this new marketing app to Salesforce, and then it actually builds that integration for you. Because yes, the business will always be buying their own applications. It's going to happen.
You know, I think it'd be interesting to look to the future. It feels like sometimes the future is already here. We are in the future at this moment, but I just think that the things we're grappling with and seeing, the changes of generative AI, this is really just the beginning. I think about ChatGPT came on the scene in November 2022. What do you see in terms of the future of the intersection of automation and AI? Maybe where Workato is going. What do you see when you look into the future?
You know, I had this conversation, and I think you're going to get a laugh at it. Like 2 movies. We're going to be in between 2 movies.
Yes.
The Terminator movie.
Yes.
Terminator, and then Wall-E.
Two good movies for sure.
But it's 2 things. Like in Terminator, AI took over the world, right?
Right.
And destroyed the human race. And then Wall-E's like, you know, created this environment where we humans didn't have to do anything. And then AI was just kind of telling us what to do.
Yeah.
Right. So somewhere in the middle there, we're going to land somewhere in the middle. If you think about that,
it's interesting. Right? I think you may be right about that, and I think that's really the big question facing not just technology, but really all of culture. Like, what is going to be the effect of AI? And I think there's those 2 images where maybe it's going to destroy us, or maybe it's just going to do all the work for us. But then again, how are we going to get hired? Hopefully, there's a nice middle ground in there, which we can hope for.
Yeah, I agree. I know as far as where Workato's going, we talked about that a bit. I really feel like also we're already low code, no code. It's going to be much easier now with AI to build these automations, and actually it fully democratizes it and actually brings the level of entry much lower, right? You know, I've already the best person on my team. She was stocking grocery store shelves 4 years ago. And she's already a great user of our tool internally. But imagine bringing that barrier down to people without the Stanford or the Harvard degrees, right? But actually bring that a way to automate, use technology like a Workato to build process automation. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and really, helping level set the playing field, really.
You know, I think that's a super important point. The idea of someone who was stocking shelves 4 years ago, and now they're using an advanced tool in a serious business setting. Because I think sometimes with artificial intelligence, we may lose some jobs. We likely will lose some jobs. And people say, well, it's gonna, you know, things have always recovered. But of course, sometimes those AI jobs require a lot of education. But the example you gave, that individual has come a long way without a Stanford degree, and yet I guess I take the day to be a particularly heartening example.
Yeah, and it is. I did talk to Jia Yang, and that's when my peers come to me and they've bought Workato and they say, hey, Carter, I need a Workato engineer. I said, no, you don't. No, you don't. Go down to your local college, find like an MIS major who kind of talks about, has been taught in business process, and there you will have your process automation person. No longer do we need engineers.
Interesting.
To do the development.
Carter, I think you said it. It's a lot of good stuff. I definitely learned some things. I hope you will come back and talk with us again sometime.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me. Humbled that we got invited, and I look forward to talking again. And maybe we'll do this. We're talking bot to bot next time.
Who needs a you and I? I'll send my bot. My bot will call your bot.
Exactly.
Thank you, Carter.
Exactly. Thank you.